matches to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 144. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is Scholar Tarek. What's up, sir?
All right. I'm all pumped and ready to go, fool. This is going to be a great weekend. Royal Rumble weekend, baby. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to place my prediction.
Hold on. Wait.
What?
That's next week, sir.
Wait, what?
The Royal Rumble prediction show, that's next week.
Are you sure?
I am positive. I've been tracking it this whole time. It's next week.
To all our listeners here, I'm sorry. My bad. Fool, I apologize.
This one's on me. Yes, happy birthday to R-Truth today, who's, did you catch how old he was?
I did not. All I know is that they actually played that clip of when he came out talking about being in the Money in the Bank. And Kane just points out, you're not in the match. Really? You sure? He's like, oh, happy birthday, R-Truth. And I'm just like, you know what? Since today's his birthday, the day we record this episode, we had to give a quick shout out to R-Truth. Which, I'm going to just pull a Scholar's Quick Talk right out the bat. Which actually do you think was a funnier segment? When R-Truth came out thinking he was in the Money in the Bank? Or when Ron Simmons came out and did "Damn" for the first time?
Gotta be damn for the first time.
Why?
It was just more meme-worthy. I was just like, sort of came out of nowhere.
I don't even remember what the segment was about. I just know it was John Cena and King Booker kind of trashing each other. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ron Simmons comes out, grabs the microphone from John. Damn!
No, the context was Cena just said, like, oh yeah, because of that you have officially lost your status as a black man.
Oh.
And then Ron Simmons just comes out, damn.
But you know what? I actually do think that's funnier. I agree with you. But it's not by like a large margin. It's actually they were both very close in humor.
It's up there.
But yeah, once again, happy birthday, R-Truth. I wish I knew how old you were turning. I guess you don't want us to know. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. It's best.
Okay,
it's best if we not know.
I'm not touching that one.
I'm just gonna guess his 40s.
I'm gonna say late 40s.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We'll look it up later.
Whatever.
Anywho, along with that, there's surprisingly a lot of stuff to talk about this week. So let's get right into it with a little bit of backstage news.
Indeed. Let us start the episode, how we always do, by just going in and peeking behind that curtain and checking in on a little
backstage news.
No, don't do it. Brian's not here. Brian, you know what? I saw that you were trying to motion me with you wanting to do it. Did you have to make it actually sound like Brian's backstage news yell? Because he has his own, I have my own. You should make one of your own.
Well, I don't think I've ever even done that before. Come to think,
you know what? We're gonna stop right now. You're gonna do this right now. Think of your own way of yelling backstage news. I'm gonna do a new intro, and you're just gonna do it on your own. Okay? You ready?
Let's go back.
All right. You ready?
All right.
You thought you have something in mind?
Maybe.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna let you go improvise. All right. Let us go. Start in. Walking in. Peeking our head behind that curtain, checking in on a little
backstage news.
There you go.
That's all I had in like 2 minutes to think about it. So
you know what?
There's only so many ways you can say it.
I was expecting you to go a little crazy. It was like backstage news.
Not quite. What, did I turn into a snake at the end there? What?
Yes.
Good commercial.
Only a small number of people will actually get that reference.
Oh yeah, probably more than you think, but less than you hope. Anywho, unfortunately, we do have to kick things off with a little bit of sad news this week. Yeah, we did lose another legend. We lost Jimmy Superfly Snuka this week.
He's the first one of the wrestling world to go on to the afterlife of 2017, right?
It certainly seems that way, that I can recall.
It's actually, I even told you before we started recording, I actually wanted to bring my book in because
you got an autographed copy of his book.
Yeah, I got an autographed copy of his book with John his co-author. But
I think we all remember the great wrestling legend John.
Great wrestling John. And I guess it was just one of those he had a bad day or something. But he was very not personable. He actually left a bad impression on me. Maybe you had a bad day. Maybe I was wearing my Undertaker shirt at the time, and since he's number 1 of his undefeated streak, he's just like, "Why you gotta wear that? I don't like you now." He didn't even make eye contact. He just signed the book, and maybe he would have. I said, "You are an inspiration." He said, "Thank you," and that's it. But he didn't really leave a lasting impression. It was like, yeah, oh well. Plus, he charged an extra like $45 to take a picture with him, so that was kind of a buzzkill.
Yeah, or for all we knew, maybe he was sicker than we all knew back then.
Oh, he was fine at that time. And also, it probably didn't help that one woman, when he was asking questions, like, "Are you really related to The Rock?" And you just saw he was trying to hold in. He's like, "Yeah, you, damn you. Yes, I was."
Oh, boy. Poor Jimmy.
When it's your time, it's your time, I guess.
Yeah. I was actually a little surprised. Not that I don't understand why, but there were actually a few people that were unhappy with the video package that they aired for Jimmy Snuka.
From what I've heard, it's not the video package per se. It's just the fact that they didn't air it on Smackdown as well with Raw. I actually thought it was a pretty touchy, in the feels package, especially with all the tweets from his family, like the Usos, The Rock, Tamina. I think there was even one from Rikishi. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't immediately recall.
But that one picture with him, with the one that Tamina posted of the picture of them holding hands, I'm like, okay, that was actually a really good feel. That was a good feels moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I had no problem with any of it. Just it didn't dwell on anything too much. It lasted as long as it needed to. It was a nice send off for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, yeah, Jimmy, we're all gonna miss you. Hopefully, we'll get to see you all again someday. Rest in peace, friend. In the meantime, how about some good news for a change? Because we did get another announcement this week. The first member of the Hall of Fame class of 2017, Kurt Angle. Did you see this coming? Because I certainly didn't.
I did not, but when ESPN first posted it, I'm just like, no. Yes, we get to hear Kurt Angle's theme song in WWE again. We get to see the Olympic gold medalist. Will he actually stay around and be an on-air TV personality? That's actually my big question coming out of this.
If we're treating this as a Scholar's Quick Talk, I'm going to...
It could. You know what?
I'm going
to
say yes. I think it's a good... I think this is one of those things where everyone's sort of waiting and seeing how everyone feels, if he's... how in good shape he's feeling, if there's something decent to do with him. But personally, I've got a feeling that he's gonna do at least one more match in WWE.
Rusev.
Maybe Rusev. He also said he expressed an interest in
AJ Styles.
Styles. Yeah, that would be a good one.
That would be a great one. But I can also I could see him doing one more match as well. But I can also see him being some kind of general manager position, or even just a regular manager. We've been talking about it. Hell, just not us. The wrestling community's been talking for years about him being a good manager to American Alpha.
You know that there's going to be at least one segment with American Alpha. Of
course, it's gonna be great. But people have been saying that he was thinking of doing some kind of general manager position. Maybe fill in for Foley while he's getting his surgery.
Could be. It's a possibility.
Or be the new head of NXT when William Regal is the general manager of the UK roster when they open that. What's the word? That brand, the UK brand. That would be interesting as well.
The possibilities are seemingly endless with this guy.
We get the Olympic gold medalist back. That's the big. I can't wait to hear "You Suck" at the Hall of Fame ceremony when he's coming out and just.
Yeah, we're honoring you. You suck.
Well,
it's not gonna. It'll simultaneously be out of place and so in place, if that makes sense.
Oh, he'll probably sing it too.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be great. Either way, I'm just glad to see Kurt Angle back in WWE where he belongs.
Absolutely.
And funny enough, speaking of tournaments, in a recent interview with Triple H, he did say that there was a women's invitational tournament in the works.
What's this going to lead to? That's my big question about it. Because this is actually the first I'm hearing about it. Is this like, did it come out today?
I first caught wind of it yesterday.
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about it now.
Well, nothing's also been finalized yet, but just given the success of past tournament-style events, a lot of people are... It's been rumored for a while, and just in a recent interview, Triple H had said something that's... It's being worked on, and the logistics are being weighed right now. Would you want to see something like that?
This is going to come off as a wrong message, or I don't want people to think of it as me being like a sexist or anything. But honestly, no, I'm not really that intrigued.
All right, what makes you say that?
I don't know. It's just then. Well, it's once again me asking, what is this going to accomplish in the end? Like the UK tournament and the Cruiserweight tournament actually led to a brand being made for both both tournaments. Is this just happening for the sake of happening? Is this going to be like, are they going to even include the current roster women of WWE? Is this going to be just a bunch of people from the independents or TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, whatnot, NXT? What? I guess because you just heard about it yesterday. I'm just hearing about it today. Nothing's in the works. As of right now, just for the announcement alone, I'm not intrigued.
To answer your question, my gut feeling, like as soon as I heard this, given the fact that they signed a whole bunch of really solid, good independent talent, if I was to sort of develop this like tomorrow, I would say it would be a combination of what you just described and independent talent. They would take some of the women that they just signed, the established indie names like your Kimberlys, like your Heidi Lovelaces, those types of people, and then since they've got some experience, put those people in, sort of give them a little bit of a platform to make them known to the general audience. Maybe bring in maybe one or two of the women from NXT who haven't gotten a lot of exposure recently.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a little bit more of a platform to establish themselves.
Okay.
And then maybe just some people from some women from the independents that haven't been signed or may not be very widely known. No one else is really jumping at me because it seemed the first two names would have been women like Kimberly or Heidi Lovelace or... it seems like all the known names I'm aware of have all been signed already. I know that there's a great number of women that are still out there that can showcase their talents. Or hell, just bring back Leva Bates, Blue Pants, one more time.
Didn't she leave like some kind of bad impression when she left?
It seemed more through just the spot that she had.
Okay.
But if she's brought on temporarily for one of these styles of tournaments, I really do not see that being an issue.
Okay.
Plus, if she's brought in to just put one of the signed talents over, someone they've got on the roster already, I can see that being a nice little one-off nod to what Leva Bates did, and just use her constructively for the talents that they do actually have on the roster.
Mm.
So if used in that way, I can see it being kind of fun. But yeah, obviously nothing's finalized yet, but we'll see how it goes. In other news, some more bad news. Apparently AJ Styles got robbed this week.
Yeah, I actually just read about this today. Where was it? Arkansas? Did they say it was?
Yes.
He was wrestling at a live show at Arkansas. It was him versus Baron Corbin and Cena, and he got robbed while he was performing.
Yeah, that was.
And did you read all that? Did you read the stuff that was taken?
Yeah, something like $1,000 in cash.
I think like $800 in yen. His Xbox 360.
Yeah, in 6 games. I was like,
6
wow.
games. As soon as I'm like, oh no. I think I actually got. I think his wallet, his wallet as well, and just. Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
it is just. Damn.
I mean, I'm sure a guy with his resources will have enough. Will be able to at least shut down his credit cards and be able to have. He'll be well taken care of. But even so, it's. What does it say about me that the biggest takeaway that I found out from this was just realizing that he had carried a Xbox 360 with him.
He actually explained that he had his 360 because there was one game in particular that he likes to play, and that's involving college. It's a college football game, and the last one that was made was in 2014, and they haven't made anything for the next gen. So he has particularly that game. But I'm just like that. Yeah, I think I got the biggest hit when he's like lost his game. I'm like, oh no, oh no, not his games. Oh,
you lost your wallet and credit cards and whatever. He lost his games.
Yeah, you can.
No.
It's like you lost a wallet and credit cards. Yeah, you can cancel those and get replacements. I know you can do the same thing with your Xbox, but no, not your Xbox.
Mama,
no, not your games.
We're all a bunch of dorks.
We were a bunch of dorks, but this actually isn't a joking matter. It really is a big deal. I feel really bad for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, whatever, like, he'll definitely get some of his stuff. Like, he'll get the stuff replaced, of course. But it's still just the fact. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's terrible. And while he was wrestling, too. What, was there
how is someone not able to get back there? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on with security? Or was it?
Was it a security guy? Imagine it actually ends up being someone from
that
security.
Guy's fired.
Yeah, right. But
I hope it was worth it. Enjoy your games, jerk.
Yeah. What the hell?
Oh well. But anyway, I'm sure that'll be a developing story. In the meantime, let's go back to some good stuff. From what I've been hearing. I believe Dave Meltzer reported this. Apparently, ICW is coming to the WWE Network.
This is another thing. This is the first I'm hearing about it. Really?
Yes, really.
Like, when was this published? Is this just this week?
Yep, all of this stuff is all this week. You probably attach this to the rumor mill. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it sounds too rumory to be true, because you know how WWE likes to have their their own content, their own produced content.
Well, they do also have tape libraries from so many different territories.
But it's stuff that they bought. Did they buy ICW?
They did not buy ICW.
So that's why it's a little too unbelievable at the moment, you know.
But they are. I also did hear some stories that they have been also considering similar deals with other federations like Evolve and Progress, who they have been known to have business deals with.
And they have it with ICW as well?
It certainly seems that way.
Okay. But yeah, I guess we'll just wait.
I mean, Mick Foley has shown up at... Mick Foley alone has been known to show up at ICW events.
Mm.
He was influential in Grado winning the title, so take that for what it is.
Imagine seeing Grado in a WWE ring, specifically NXT.
That would be fantastic.
He has to come out to like a prayer.
There's no way they would get the rights to that.
All right, kind of like their own rendition of it.
Oh, they'll come up with something good for him, assuming he even comes to NXT or anything like that. But
I see him being an NXT guy. I honestly am not. I don't see him going on the main roster.
Honestly, I would just love to see him just appear at least once.
Get a WWE paycheck.
Mm-hmm. He deserves it.
Oh, yes, he does.
It's your sale.
When you call my name, it's like a little...
Well, here's another little bit of rumors that came from another really unlikely source. Apparently, one guy who's been working to develop title belts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what this.
You've heard of this one too?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah. To bring everyone up to speed, apparently new designs for the Intercontinental and U.S. title belts are coming soon.
That's why they kind of had Dean Ambrose throw. They kind of have a new belt design on this past week's SmackDown. I honestly hate it. Well, United States Championship, I'm okay with them changing the design, but the design for the Intercontinental Championship is like a big design for history, and I just can't see them doing. Like I like the design of the IC belt during the Attitude Era, but I feel like this design is a little more prestigious. Is the best way to put it.
I would typically agree with you,
and for the U.S. title, like I heard that it's not going to be a big WWE logo like all the other belts.
Yes, thanks. That's exactly what I needed to hear. To be
I
honest
actually,
with you.
This was last year specifically. Someone threw an idea of a new United States Championship design. I'm gonna pull it up right here to show you, fool. I'm gonna post it on the episode as well.
That's nice.
It's similar to the Intercontinental Championship, but of course it's more red, white, and blue. It's has the eagle in front.
I actually kind of like that.
It
looks like an old. It sort of reminds me of the old. Was it NWA Championship belt?
It looks like the Intercontinental Championship, just more, American.
America.
America. But yeah, I look at him like, I wish they would change it to this design with them wanting the belts for each brand to look similar. I actually think this would actually make the U.S. title more prestigious looking than hopefully these designs. I hope they're good. They're probably gonna look similar since that's what they've been doing with all the other belts.
Yeah, from what I've been told.
But yeah, when I first read this today, I'm like, I hope you bring this up for Backstage News because I hate it.
Yeah, for what it's worth though, I have been hearing that because one of the main reasons that they've been wanting to change the titles is because the part of the rights are credited to some other belt maker, specifically for the Intercontinental and U.S. title belts. And so what they're doing instead is they're going to the same in-house belt maker that developed the UK Championship title and the Cruiserweight belt.
Okay, I do like the Cruiserweight design as well. But once again, I love this look. I made it clear in the past I wasn't a big fan of the design for the U.S. title. Like I keep saying, it looks like a toy. The Intercontinental Championship always looked prestigious, and it actually looks like
even when it was on a yellow strap.
Yeah. It's not just the strap; it's the design of the championship belt. It's the design of the centerpiece. That's fair. And I guess gotta wait. But once again, it's just a rumor. But all the other big wrestling websites are posting that that they're in development right now, and hopefully they'll release a design. And I just hope it doesn't. At least it's not it's not the logos.
Yeah, that would be a little too much.
I've already seen pictures
for the lead world titles and for the lead women's titles. I can sort of understand, but no more than that. Mm-hmm. I'm totally in agreement with you.
But yeah, I'm gonna post the picture of the U.S. belt with the Intercontinental Championship on top.
Definitely do it. It's a nice mock-up.
That's how I would love to look at these belts. But
yeah, as long as we get something at least in that similar vein, or at least similar and a similar approach, let's say, I would be perfectly happy with that. And finally, one little other thing that I came across that was just announced today as of the day of this recording. I know that there have been rumors about The Rock playing Black Adam.
That's confirmed. There's no rumors.
Yeah, I always thought it was a rumor going around.
No, that's confirmed.
And apparently, not only is he actually going to be Black Adam in the Shazam movie for DC, he apparently is also going to get his own solo film. That's in development now.
So, Black Adam's the bad guy.
Yes, he is.
So, pretty much they're just doing what they did with Suicide Squad?
Maybe. I can sort of see him... They can make it either a prequel, or they can also... Because I know a little bit about Black Adam. I can also see him being a sort of a sequel where they sort of set up where he can set up his nation of Kahndaq, and they can sort of go into the tragedy of what happened to his past life and him trying to rebuild and make a new family.
Okay.
It's not a bad story.
It's not a bad story, but like, what? I guess it's just the question: what would they do to have it connect with the DC expanded universe? Is that what they call it? The DC? Isn't it called the expanded?
It is the DCEU, yeah.
Okay.
Again, now I'm guessing that'll probably come into play with how that coming off the heels of however they want to do Justice League, pretty much.
I would love to.
We're going to get The Rock.
I would love to have seen him play the Martian Manhunter. Or Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
At this point, without going off on a tangent, I just kind of want to see Green Lantern, period. Redeem the name after Ryan Reynolds, please.
Okay, I'm just going to say, the movie wasn't that bad.
I know.
It's just they made some dumb creative decisions on it.
I'm just saying, as a Green Lantern fan, there's a lot more they could have done.
Mm-hmm.
They under-delivered, let's put it that way.
The first half was definitely better than the second half.
Yeah.
That I can say.
I want more stuff on Oa.
Exactly.
Either way.
And
welcome to Scholars of DC Comics, people.
And the tease at the end made absolutely no sense.
False promises, more like.
It's not even. It doesn't. You know what? We'll talk about this after we're done recording.
I know. There's a whole nother podcast right there.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, I'd say that's enough backstage news because we still have a UK Championship tournament to talk about, and oh man, was this ever awesome!
This was a great tournament. I'm actually not. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pay full attention to Saturday's show because really all it cares about is the second day when it comes to like the final. What was it? The final 8?
I admit I have a similar approach, and I just ended up marathoning the entire tournament. Like, I watched the first half right before the second half was about to start.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pretty much marathon the entire thing, and because I did, it was difficult for me to focus on every single match during the first half. But what I did see...
There you go.
me do grammar good. What I did see was actually really, really good. They have a nice little crop of talent here, especially towards the end, where they injected a whole bunch of more plot than I really expected out of a tournament like this.
The Final Four definitely made their mark. Wolfgang, Mark Andrews, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate, which he was awesome. He was... From the very beginning, I'm like, I like this guy. 19 years old, I really like him. And, of course, Pete Dunne stealing the show, being the best heel on that program.
In a lot of ways, he almost reminds me of a British Kevin Owens in his demeanor.
I can see that, but looks-wise, he kind of I'm going to do this with two of the Final Four. Pete Dunne kind of reminded me of a mix between Daniel Bryan and Jack Swagger. Looks-wise.
I can kind of see that.
And for Wolfgang, I even talked with Charlie about this one. Wolfgang looks like a mixture of Terry Funk and Bill DeMott.
Now that I actually see.
I'm just like...
I see that more than I actually care to.
Nothing against that. It's a good mix.
Hey, it is what it is.
But yeah, Mark Andrews and Pete Dunne was match of the tournament for me.
Mark Andrews and Pete Dunne. For some reason, I can't. I'm trying to visualize Mark Andrews. Which one was he?
He was the one that he was one of the Final Four in the semis. They fought for the finals, and the other one was Tyler Bate versus Wolfgang.
Yeah, I'm.
But that match was that for that one was match of the whole tournament for me.
Yeah, it's. Because the finish of it was so strong. Just offhand, maybe I need to rewatch some of the matches, but the absolute finals just delivered way more than I expected. Just with false finish city and all that good stuff. It's just I was expecting a much quicker bout than what we got. So I think because that part over delivered, I think it just left a much stronger impression on me. Yeah, I don't remember him.
The thing is with the finals, the finals was my number 2 match, because it was a good story. Like, my big problem is it was a little slow for my liking in the beginning. Granted, it was them developing the story with Tyler Bate getting attacked by Pete Dunne right before their match, like right after he defeated Wolfgang, which was a fun match on its own. But yeah, it was too slow for my liking. The beginning, it picked up at the end, which was so great. That 450 stomp was awesome.
Oh yeah,
that was a great spot. But I think actually the Mark Andrews Pete Dunne I was more invested in, and it had a good length. It told a good story in the ring. Those two had great chemistry together, and I wanted more. I was like, okay, I can't wait for this new UK brand to develop whenever they actually do develop it.
Having said that, what do you think of the spoilers winner of the tournament, Tyler Bate? What do you think is going to be next for him?
As long as they don't do another TJ Perkins. But I actually was more invested with Tyler Bate than I was with TJ Perkins for the Cruiserweight tournament.
Absolutely.
And I caught myself waving every time he won. I was like, I like this guy. I like him. I like his mustache. Yeah, mustache.
Mr. Mustache. He's a good natural face. I like him.
And I actually I asked Dave this. I'm going to ask you, is this... He won at 19 years old. Great, good for him. He has a long career ahead of him. Is he the youngest quote world champion?
You know what? I want to say yes, because I think guys like Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton, those guys were at least 20, 21.
Yeah, I think Randy Orton was 21 and Brock was 20.
Yeah, I'm thinking you might be right.
Like, they count the UK Championship as a world title, correct?
I honestly have no idea.
That's the big question about it.
It may need to be, I think by the traditional standards, you may need to defend it. They would have to defend it in the States or in some other country for it to be technically to be considered a world title.
Which is very weird. It's a world. It's in another country yet. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
It has to be in the States to be considered a world title.
Well, it's barely been it's a very, very new title, so I don't think it's sort of established on what level it could be considered to be a world title.
I mean, it's the main title to go for a particular brand.
In that case, then, well, considering the brand itself, if we're talking about a UK division, the brand itself has not been clearly established yet or even announced. So I would not put it at that level just yet, but the fact is, if they do actually make it its own separate division for like the WWE Network or whatnot, then technically, yeah, he probably would be the youngest world champion.
As at least youngest champion to hold a singles title. Because remember, Kenny Dykstra won the tag team titles at 19.
Okay, there we go.
So he'll be the youngest singles champion. At least in WWE standards. We have to really look into for the rest of the world.
True.
In other
but again,
organizations.
Another time. But before we move on to something else, I do want to talk a little bit about Tommy End. I was made a fan of that guy.
Him versus Neville. Yeah, that was a good Phil match.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I finally get to see this Tommy End guy that I've been hearing so much about. And honestly, he impressed the heck out of me.
It was a very good match. It was like normal WWE standards. The heel would do a promo and a face would come out and take him out. Tommy End's a heel himself, right? In NXT?
I honestly don't recall. But at the same time, just the little stuff just that really just jumped out at me. Like, the one thing that I loved was that spot where he got Irish whipped and he just went into a sitting position.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, that's so cool.
I'm like, whoa. I like you. It's like it's good character choice. I like it.
That, and I found out after the fact that this was actually the second match he had of the day.
Yeah, I heard this too.
I was like, okay, so he's coming in slightly tired, and that's what we get?
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yes, that's true. Yep. Yeah.
I can't wait to see more from this guy. Even if he doesn't use the Tommy End name, I'm good for it. Now I'm going to have to watch more.
Hair ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and give this I'm going to give this one a goat face.
I'm right there with you. I enjoyed this thoroughly.
I really had, like, there really wasn't any bad matches in this tournament. At least none that comes to mind right now.
It's a lot. I probably wouldn't marathon it all again and all in one day, but
like, granted, the first matches, you kind of could tell who was going to win. At least I could tell.
Honestly, I didn't quite know what to expect. I didn't really know any of these people, so it was sort of a full-on shock to me. I had a handful of people in mind, but I found myself surprised a couple of times, much like I did with the Cruiserweight tournament.
Well, for me, the Cruiserweight the Cruiserweight tournament was more unpredictable. I don't know most of these guys either, but just from I was just going basically from looks and just kind of presentation of themselves. I was just like, I think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win, and I was right. The only match that I got wrong was okay, all I know is I got one match wrong. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I definitely know I got one match wrong, and then I'm like, I got the prediction for the finals wrong. So technically, I got two wrong.
But even so, it didn't seem like it was anything that's really slowed down your enjoyment.
Not at all. I loved every second of it, and I'm going to be honest. I actually enjoyed this one more than the Cruiserweight tournament.
And you know what? I can actually see why.
And the crowd was awesome. The crowd. That's what I love. I love the UK crowd. I really do. They are just like they are willing to just enjoy whatever it is that the show presents itself. And what was the guy's name who Finn Balor trained?
Oh, the big head guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
I think it starts with a J.
Jumpin' Jehovah.
Nice. But yeah, I liked him. There were definitely a bunch of characters that I am like, okay, I like these guys. I can't wait for this brand. Because it is coming. It's just they got to announce when.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole... It's Cruiserweight Championship all over again.
Yeah. And you know what? As a wrestling fan who is horrifically underexposed to the British wrestling scene, guys, you made a believer out of this scholar. I can't wait to see more. You do good work.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, enough with the championship tournament in the UK. Next up, we can't let a episode go by without a little bit of talk about as far as what happened this week on Raw and SmackDown.
Indeed. Let us go. All right. We're backstage. We're all pumped. We're all powered up. We're all ready to go. Let us just go right out to the arena. Pyro in the air. Music playing. Crowds going wild. Let us go with some Raw versus SmackDown Live. You say SmackDown Raw, I'm going to slap you.
Did I say anything?
You were going to say it. I saw you building up for it. I could see it in your face right now. Stop it. Stop it.
Okay, now I can't help but laugh.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk Raw. Let's just go right into Raw.
All right, let's go right into Raw. I'll say this right now. I like the setup with all the competitors in the Royal Rumble match. Now I'm still laughing about that. In all seriousness, I really did like the whole... It looks like they're really getting a lot of people into, like...
Are you talking about the opening segment?
Yeah, I'm talking about the opening segment. And just the way the theme is sort of carried out throughout the show. Mm-hmm. They're really establishing all the big names from the Raw side in the Royal Rumble match. Like, there's really... I'm not sure if you've been getting this impression, but really, there's an air of unpredictability that, like, I don't think we've seen in a little while with this year's Royal Rumble.
That's what I like about it. But yeah, I've been getting it too. There are a lot of names that are like in my hat of selection of winners. I'm actually going to post quick Royal Rumble game plug. I'm going to post my numbers this weekend, and then I'm going to save the actual prediction on who I think is going to win the Rumble for the prediction show.
Okay. Then.
But yeah, It's going right down to the mark, even though that's what I have planned. I still have no one. I have no one in mind who I think is going to win this tournament. That's awesome. That's what I love about this. I love that the unpredictable factor is still here, or is right now here.
Yeah, I'll save my personal thoughts briefly when we talk about the Royal Rumble game at the end of the show. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying the build this year more so than quite a while. I'm digging it. Another area I really liked was how what they're doing with the Bayley Charlotte feud.
You liked that segment?
It was a lot better than what I was expecting.
It went too long for me.
It was a little too long, but
it was because of that length. It took me out of it. I was just, and it's once again me. I am not invested in the Raw Women's division. I like the people that are in it. I just lost interest.
And you know what? I think the very fact that most of the time I don't expect much from the day-to-day, week-to-week establishments, because I'm so used to having this mindset of the women, this is going to sound horrible, but I'm so used to situations where the women underperform that when they actually deliver, to me it just looks that much better. Especially considering, I maybe this is just me, but I was always afraid that Bayley was going to sort of get lost in the shuffle when she came onto the main roster.
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
Plus, I'm also seeing how Charlotte has progressed. Charlotte used to be she seemed kind of uncomfortable on the mic, but now she's sort of established herself and gotten more into the role of just really cocky Queen Biatch of Raw.
I've gotten that. I got that feeling months ago. I've seen that months ago. Like I said, I like the women. It's just that there is no division. It's just these four. And like I said, that segment with Bayley, it just took too long, and just Bayley doing her little poem was just
it was silly and cringy, but I'll tell you what, no one else would have been able to get away with that but Bayley.
I think
if Roman Reigns tried to do that same thing, would have gotten booed out of the building. But like, since it's Bayley, it's like,
well, it would fit. It fits her character
exactly. It fit. She's like literally the only person on the roster I think who would get away with that.
It just, I guess when you say cringeworthy, I felt the same way, but not in the silly tee way.
It made it palatable because it was coming out of Bayley's mouth.
I will say that the part of that segment that I actually got a good chuckle at was Charlotte taking a swing at the inflatable tube men. I'm not going to pull the Family Guy reference that Byron Saxton likes to pull. But yeah, just her taking a little swing at him. Like, I think she's because she took a number of swings at him, and I'm like, because there was one at the Goodyear right down the road. They had the grand opening. When they had the grand opening, they had their own inflatable tube man. I just ran and punched one of them because I'm just like, okay, that's awesome.
I like this segment because they're fun to punch.
They're fun to punch. Hi, I'm Papo.
I don't know why I made you sound like someone from the Midwest. I apologize for.
Hi, I'm Papo. That's how I felt. But yeah, when it comes to the women's part of the show, I like I said, I've lost interest. It's meh to me. Even with Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Club for the tag titles. I was wondering if you were
going to bring that up.
Of course I am. It's Cesaro. Of course, he's my man crush.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
It's a very weird development that they're going with this one, where Cesaro and Sheamus, well, at least with Sheamus getting disqualified, but it's obviously accidental, even though he's still technically a heel in their team because he still gets booed. It's like we're trying to gain sympathy for the evil club. The fact that they won, but because of the disqualification, they had the titles taken away from them, and it's a very weird vibe.
That it is, yeah.
And I don't know where they're going to go with this. Does it make Sheamus and Cesaro look like flukes? Does it make, like, are we trying to gain sympathy for the club who have, for the past few weeks, have been trying to get good heel heat, especially with, like, when it came to talking down Goldust with the Dusty Rhodes Bear? It's so confusing right now, and I don't know where they're going to go with that. Of course, they're probably going to get a tag title shot at Rumble, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm kind of wondering if they do end up, assuming they do have a Royal Rumble tag match between the club and Sheamus and Cesaro. I can sort of see if they do lose their titles to the club, I can see them sort of splitting up Sheamus and Cesaro, and then
Cesaro going to Smackdown. Oh, what a cough I have.
They can do that. They can put Sheamus in the Intercontinental title picture. They can do any kind of number of things.
It's another thing. The tag team division on Raw is kind of weird. They're like, it's really, when it comes to tag teams, it's really just Cesaro, Sheamus versus the club. I mean, with Enzo and Cass, technically they're doing a tag team feud as well, but it's kind of weird. Even Rusev and Jinder Mahal. It's another storyline that's very confusing right now, because it's the whole point of their feud is Enzo made moves on Lana. Rusev is defending Lana, but Rusev is still the heel. He's the heel that's defending his wife.
None of it makes sense.
And so Enzo they got the win, right?
I believe so.
I don't remember the predict. I just remember people are saying it's like, so the guy who's making moves on another man's wife got the comeback because he got beat up. What's going on? Enzo and Cass should have been in the tag team title picture months ago. And once again, it's my honest belief. It's Vince McMahon wanting to focus on Big Cass's single run, or becoming a single star, and Enzo is just pretty much the third wheel, even though there is no third person.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm just waiting for this whole thing to run out so that Enzo and Cass can move on to something more productive.
And what's now back to another thing I have a problem. I actually have a lot more problems with Raw than I actually realized.
Oh boy.
But now I'm going to go to what was going as my favorite segment for the past couple of weeks, and now they kind of ruined it here. Titus O'Neil versus the New Day. I told you what my whole idea of how I want this whole storyline to go, and this past week kind of threw it out the window, with Titus wanting to gain one of their spots, and it's like, if you lose, you don't have to you have to leave us alone and all that. It seems like they're kind of trying to end the storyline with the New Day and versus Titus, even though it should have gone a completely different direction. I even called out Xavier Woods myself. I even posted a tweet. I'm like, Xavier, you're talking about spreading the power of positivity, yet you're denying giving that to a man who desperately needs your help. And it's like, hashtag give Titus a chance. Or hashtag help Titus. Of course, he hasn't responded. No one responds to me on Twitter. I
respect you, Barnacle Man.
But yeah, it had so much potential, especially from what happened last week. I hope they continue this somehow. Hell, maybe Titus comes out and it costs one of the New Day members the Royal Rumble match. I don't know. But
yeah, I'm convinced.
It didn't help. It didn't help this week.
Yeah, I'm convinced that this is just a weak week for this feud storyline, whatever you want to quantify it as, and that we're going to get something more to this next week, and possibly after the Royal Rumble, maybe.
And I guess we'll do the final segment with Raw, with the opening segment and from the opening segment to the closing segment. The 6-man tag match, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins versus Jericho and Braun Strowman.
That's again, like I was saying earlier. I can see any of these 6 people having a shot.
What did you think about that backstage segment with Sami Zayn talking to Rollins and Reigns, talking like 100 words a second, and then Roman just turns to Seth, and is like, "Man, he's crazier than Dean Ambrose," and walks away. What did you think of that?
I honestly didn't see that segment.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sami Zayn was just going,
we
gotta take out Braun Strowman first. And he's just talking 100 words a second, talking about how the matches, we should work as a team and all that. And then he just goes, "Let's go team!" Puts his fist on it to try and get a pound. And Roman just turns to Seth. "Man, this guy's crazier than Dean Ambrose. Or crazier than Dean is." And walks away. And Seth walks. I kind of wanted to see Sami Zayn just going.
If they really did that.
No, yeah, they did it.
If they really did that, then you shouldn't do that to Sammy. It just sounds like you're burying him, making him sound like a lunatic. That's the way it's coming across. Maybe I need to look that up later. And
then they had a Jericho KO trying to talk to Braun. I don't even remember how that one went. All I was thinking was
Braun in the spotlight.
Braun in the spotlight. Well, he was the center. He was in the center of the spotlight. So
that's a yes.
So yeah. But I don't remember exactly what was said. But I do. Because Jericho was wearing that anchor scarf, it just made me. It just reminded me of the Survivor Series when Jericho tried to give KO and Braun Strowman their own scarves, and then Braun just like, "I want that one," and he just tears it. That's all I was thinking of. But yeah, it was a good one. It was a great match. All six guys looked really strong, and. Oh, I guess I totally forgot. That standoff between Braun and Brock Lesnar was awesome. But yeah, those are the only real pretty much that segment was the real highlight with Raw for me. Everything else just was confusing, or I guess I'm gonna just dig at this stone again. When it came to the cruiserweights, it was filler. It was just confusing storylines and filler. The main focus was the main six guys on the roster. And I think that actually kind of hurts the show for me.
Yeah, it's just a long show. Again, transferring over to Smackdown for a second.
Yeah, let's just go right into Smackdown.
Yeah, what are we talking about? There was really only one thing that's really jumped out at me as being really, really huge. And I just found it so satisfying. Like, that's the Becky Alexa feud that's been going on.
I actually like that was like the main focal point of SmackDown.
Which I had a feeling that's what they were going to be doing with as much hype. And let's face it, these girls have been delivering.
It was a very good match. It really was. It was a good steel cage match between these two. And of course,
the ending. Did you see the ending coming? Because I certainly didn't.
Oh, I've read rumors that she was going to be that Mickie James was the one revealed to be La Luchadora. Spoiler to anyone who didn't watch it. As I shrug, I'm like, really, people? But yeah, I as soon as they said Mickie James signed a main roster contract, I'm like, she's going to be La Luchadora. Because I can see her and Alexa Bliss being a good, crazy team. Kind of like a Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy kind of tag team. That's right. I went DC.
Hey, you're talking to me. I'm all for that.
And but yeah, that was for the main focal point of the show. It was a very good one, and I do like the quote reveal, even though I saw it coming once I read what's going on. But it was great to see everyone sold their moments right. And then when it came for the rest of the show, the opening segment with John Cena, AJ Styles, and The Miz was pretty fun. With Shane and also Shane McMahon, with Shane announcing that 2 weeks after Rumble they're gonna have the Elimination Chamber.
That was kind of nice.
That was nice. And people are asking whether or not is this confirming that someone from Raw is gonna win the Rumble? I'm gonna say no.
No, definitely not.
I don't think so. I think there's still just as much a chance as a SmackDown guy winning as much as a Raw. The Elimination Chamber match doesn't mean anything. Well, you know what I mean. It's a great match. But Miz, I did both like and hate John Cena kind of be like the guy trying to nudge Miz and AJ Styles against each other, which I love AJ's little dig at Miz with saying, "Oh, the last time we fought in Memphis, I knocked out one of your teeth," and he's like, "Oh, and also you're kind of limp, but I wouldn't know about that." And he just turns to Maurice, "That's something you would know." It's like, oh, penis jokes. You can't do it in bed wet.
Oh boy.
But yeah, they had for a match that kind of was just a TV match. They're saving that for a bigger for down the line, Miz versus AJ Styles. It was a good fill time. John Cena came out on top, which of course it's not I would be normally upset about it, but really, when was the last time Cena actually looked overpowering?
Yeah, he's been going at a fairly decent pace, so I was like, whatever.
I liked Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton because I do like the progress of the Wyatt family, and I really wish Brian was here so I can call him out. I said Bray Wyatt's going to have Luke Harper and Randy Orton fight each other, which they're going to do next week, and now Bray's going to be sitting on the ramp watching them go at it, like a family divided will eventually make us stronger, I think he said. I like that. I like the progress on that storyline. I really liked the King's Court segment with Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very different Dolph Ziggler promo. Normally, you know how he normally talks. He talks yelling and kind of fast. This one, he was real quiet. He was quiet and kind of manipulative. He was saying it really slow, and then King was trying to call him out. Like, what? Well, at first, King was trying to get some answers out of him. Why are you doing? Why? What's with this new attitude? And he made some kind of dig about his blonde hair disappear, his dye and his ring. That I don't exactly remember offhand, and he was asking why you attack Apollo Crews and Kalisto and all that. And first Ziggler wasn't going to answer, and then King calls him out on it, and Ziggler's like, you know what? I know what you're trying to do, King. I know you're trying to manipulate me to answer what you want, but I brought my own video too, and it's when the King had his heart attack those couple years ago, and they showed that it was because they made it storyline wise that it was because of Dolph Ziggler dropping all those elbows on his chest.
I know. That
I actually liked it.
I liked it too.
Like, it's just
more than I thought.
And it's obvious they had Jerry Lawler is okay putting the heart attack into storyline, because if he wasn't, they would have trashed this. And I like that he's like, if you don't stop, I'm going to finish what I started 2 years ago. So get out of my way. And it's like, no matter what your attitude is going to be, you're always a loser. So it leads to Dolph Ziggler pulling a Shawn Michaels and super kicking, or I'm just going to call it the show off. I'm sorry. I know it's just, people are just calling it the super kick, but I feel like since that's his finishing move now, he needs to have a name on it. And because he's kind of becoming a new evil Shawn Michaels, it should be called, I'm calling it the show off. He did the show off, but not, normally he hits him in the face. He hit him in the chest. Show off him in the chest. And, of course, JBL trying to make the save, but I don't know if you caught this, but his foot got caught in a wire, and he fell flat on his face.
I did not catch that.
I got to show you this later. I'll show you it after the recording of JBL running from the commentating table, and he falls flat and he falls on his face. JBL, you kind of deserve it because you're kind of an asshole.
Now I remember that. Yeah.
But yeah. The difference with Raw and SmackDown is the main focal point of SmackDown was the women's title steel cage match, but everything else had their moments too. I really can't think of a bad moment that happened on SmackDown, at least none that came to mind. Even the Nikki Bella and Natalya stuff, I actually forgot to mention. I'm not super fond of it, but what they are doing, I'm actually you know what? It's not bad.
So you're going with SmackDown this week then?
So I'm
fair show,
hands down. hands down,
Yeah,
SmackDown
I'm
is a
with you.
10 times better show.
I'm with you in there too.
I really had no
It's kind of
complaints.
gotten to the point where unless Raw does something absolutely amazing, it's still very one-sided.
And even
I think it's
so,
going to be
even
like
if
that
they-
way for quite a while.
Even so, I mean, we even talked about it last week. Raw had to try and bring in star power with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And even that couldn't save the show for me.
Well, I'm honestly convinced at this point it's just two very different kinds of shows.
Well, yeah, they have different writers.
Yeah, it just comes down to different tastes.
And from
but
what I've read,
most of our tastes, it looks like SmackDown's going to satisfy 9 times out of 10.
and from what I've read, they actually got one of the big writers for NXT to write for SmackDown. Actually, I think he's the head writer.
Well, there you go.
And you can definitely tell if SmackDown is a completely different show. It definitely is the land of opportunity compared to Raw. Raw may be their quote unquote flag show, but my God, it is just sometimes I watch it just for the sake.
Since there's so much wrestling, I can't keep track of it all. Most of the time, I just have to make do with what we get.
But yeah, SmackDown, hands down.
SmackDown. We are in agreement there, and before we head on out, we have to talk about this: the status of the 2017 WWE Royal Rumble game. Now, this is where all the excitement with the unpredictability comes into play. On a year like this, with the Royal Rumble game, we're all putting in our predictions. There's really no unanimous decision.
With all the predictions that are there already? Yeah, I saw that too.
There's such a huge diversity of opinions who's going to win. This is a really exciting year for this game.
I am so looking forward to this. And it's really, the Royal Rumble is one of the most fun aspects because of this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, in case you haven't gotten the message or you don't know what we're talking about, just go to Facebook, look for the event, the WWE Royal Rumble Game 2017. It's free to join. Join us and put in your predictions. Choose 3 numbers 1 through 30, along with the person who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble match. The people who come out at the numbers you pick, they'll eliminate people for you. They'll earn points for you, depending on how well they do. And then whoever has the most points at the end of the night wins. And we're also giving away a prize this year. The winner is going to get a WWE Slam Crate, courtesy of the Scholars of Wrestling show.
You get to enjoy a great game, and you get a prize out of
Prizes.
it. You can't lose.
Well, unless you come in last place, in which case you lose.
I don't think any of us have come in last place.
Really? I thought, didn't Brian... I know you won it one year. Didn't Brian come in last place one year?
Oh, I have no idea. We gotta look.
I know I came close to coming in last place. I think it was maybe last year I did.
I think Brian would want to say, like, if that actually is true, he's like, why are you guys bringing this up? Leave me alone.
Because competition is fun.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, speaking of competition, you've already heard our opinions. You know what we think. But now it's your turn. Leave us a comment. Let us know, how do you think everything's going to go? Do you think Raw or SmackDown was better? Let us know your opinion. Drop us a line. Leave us a comment. Thumbs up if you like what you hear. Subscribe if you want to hear more every single week. Of course, you can also follow us on our Facebook page. Like us there at the Scholars of Wrestling Show. And, of course, you can also follow us on our Twitter machines. You can find us on our main account at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads and updates for the show. You can find Scholar Brian at Atomic Beanpole. Fool, where can they reach you at?
You can find me at The Avatar.
And you can follow me at I'm Robbie Rage, all one word. Nothing else.
Good.
Ever.
Good. It's like, good boy. Have a cookie.
Boy. Yay, cookie. In any case, you know who we are by now. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See y'all next week.
I guess I gotta end it this way. We're the Scholars of Wrestling. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?